Yo, what is going on, everybody? Jared here, and today I have an exciting match for you. This is going to be a Tri-Brigade duelist versus Orcust with some interesting tech choices. So I was climbing the ladder with Tri-Brigade, and I wanted to show off this deck that I ran into, which was I thought was a kind of neat Orcust, like seemed more like a trap variant. So yeah, I wanted to show you that replay. And just real quick before we start, I just wanted to let you guys know that I got a TCG player affiliate link. I'm going to link that in the description below just so that if you guys make any purchases on TCG Player, feel free to use the link to help support me directly, and it's cost you absolutely nothing. I really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, and let's get started. So I go second in this duel. The Orcust goes first. So right off the bat, he's going first. He opened up the Yugioh and Orcust Nightmare, and then he played. This is what I was talking about. He played something like Divine Wrath, Imperm, and Crescendo. So he opened up pretty well because he has this. I opened up no hand traps, unfortunately. This build plays about like 10 hand traps. I didn't draw any of them, so he was able to go freely. So he goes to the Yugioh, but it doesn't do exactly what I thought it was going to do. He makes very like different. Like I said, he sends World Wand. I don't know if he only plays one Nightmare. That might be why he did it that way. I wasn't quite sure. That was just a misclick with the token. Puts them right into Galatea. And then just sets 3. So I think he only plays the one Nightmare to be able to keep going. And I don't think he plays Lib or anything like that to do any combo extensions. So then I draw my hand trap as my next draw, unfortunately, but it's okay. So he desires. We draw 2 normal summons. Very unfortunate. Summoning Cat, try to use the effect, gets Divine Wrath. We go for the Kurez play, send Kit so we can try to get some Tri-Beast names in the grave. Use Kit effect to be able to dump, I believe, Nerval. Yep, Nerval effect. I think we add Fractal. So we tried deciding on what we're going to go. I think we go for Banish 2. We were going to try to go for Bear Bloom to be able to summon one of these guys out to try to go for a different play as a follow-up. Got Imperm, unfortunately. So we just have to hard pass here after reset 2. I was debating on if I should Fractal here. But I decided to hold it as another form if I could get to Kurez next turn. So I just hold it here. So he goes. Uses the Nightmare to send Skeleton, and then Wand to special summon Nightmare. Then uses the Galatea to set the Orcust return. It's the draw card. Use a Skeleton to bring back the Yugioh effect. I think it's very cool what this card does for the actual pure Orcust deck in general. One day maybe we'll get Heart back. Then you go to another Galatea into a Ding. Ding effect ascend. I Imperm it because I didn't want him touching one of the Revolt. So he just goes battle phase to swing over my guys. That puts the 4th Beast Warrior in the grave. So during end phase I try to revolt, but he has to return. I draw Droplet. So I try to go for a make a play here. I believe I'm out of Kurez's. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm out of Kurez's at this point. I think I banished 2 off Desires. So we try doing it. He goes Solemn Strike. And I just concede there because I can't really do anything after that. Like most of my guys are banished and we don't have a lot of good follow-up there. We couldn't get anything started. So game 2. So I open up very well. I open up the Revolt. Gotta love to see that. Kurez, Judgment, Imperm, and Kit. He opens up Strike, Droll, Divine Wrath, Solemn Strike, and Yugioh again. This man was opening up Yugioh. But yeah, he kept double strike in and Divine Wrath going second. I was quite surprised by that. So we can go Kit. Using the Kit. We're going to go for a Nerval, and then Nerval effect to be able to add a Fractal, if I remember right. He uses Droll, completely fine with that. Does absolutely nothing in this situation, just a free card. So we special summon the Kurez. To be able just to summon the Ancient Warriors, because we're under Droll, so we can't do anything for like super advantage. So I think this is fine. So it should be okay. And my logic was if he goes for a play, I can use the Ancient Warriors to send away the Kuraz to bounce something, and then we can still do Revolt, and because that'll give us the 4th one. So he goes Girsu, I use Imperm. Battle phase, attack over my Kuraz. I let that go through. I try revolting here. I forget that I don't have a Link Zone. So what I do is I was about to do it and then I realized I didn't have a Link Zone. So I use the Ancient Warriors Link instead of just do this first to bounce back Girsu. And then I just revolt after. So I can open up the Monster Zone. So now I can put the Omen up here. Because I wanted to use this to banish a back row. So then I use the Tri-Brigade's Engrave. And I think that's the strongest part of Tri-Brigade, is the fact that Revolt gets you the follow-up play every single turn. It's like insane how strong that is. So we just go Fractal, banish 2. He goes Judgment, he goes Divine Wrath, I go Judgment. And then I summon that. Omen effect activates to be able to banish that. He just concedes. Because even if you summon Gears to it, would just banish the Gears to it, doesn't activate regardless. So for game 3, he starts off with this. I don't decide to Ash here because this is an Orcust deck. So activating this just to be able to only special summon Mech Knights doesn't really do too much, and I'm not too worried about something like that. So it's fine. I let it resolve. This doesn't bother me. Like, I was waiting for something more valuable. So once he used the Orchestrator Return, I'm like, okay, that's fine. That puts him on 3 cards. That's super easy. He can't use anything in the graveyard. So I'm like, okay. So he still ends with 3 interruptions here. We draw Desires. I go Fractal, trying to get Kuraz out of the deck. He Ashes here to keep Beast Warriors out of my grave. So I go Tinky. I was trying to play around, what's it called? I was trying to play around Draw Lockbird if that was the last card in his hand. That was why I did the Fractal first. I wanted to go Kit Nerval to get Kuraz, so I'd be able to have Kuraz access already. So we Desires now. We draw Kit and another Revolt. And as you're going to see how strong opening Revolt is rather than searching Roll, because I haven't even summoned Bear Bloom to search Revolt at all. I've only drawn Revolt. So we go Nerval. So then we can add the Kuraz to our hand. We need banish all 3, luckily. Kuraz effect to discard Fractal. I want to keep this in my hand for next turn as a follow-up. Kuraz effect. We'll banish 4. He Solemn Strikes it. That's fine. We have 2 backups. I was set both. If this was Solemn Judgment, I wanted to make sure that I could have done something with this. The only misplay that I think I could have done here better was before I used the Kuraz, I used Almirage effect on the Kuraz, and then try to use Kuraz. He still would have Solemn Strike, and Kuraz was still, but I would have still had the Kuraz here, which would have been pretty relevant, I would say. So yeah, just keep something like that in mind when you have like Almirage and trying to go for a play. It's worth using this sometimes. So he uses Nightmare targeting my Almirage so that he can send Skeleton, and then use a Skeleton effect to bring back Girsu. I'll let it go through. I'm trying to wait for the Revolt here on something very high impact for later, because there's a lot of, like, if he goes for like a Boral Sword or Access Code or something like that, I want to be able to do something to avoid that. So I'll wait for him to use all of his effects, because he already used Skeleton, he already used Wand, and he already used Nightmare. So I think right here is a good time to Revolt. So we summon the 4 back. Oh, we've 1 banish, but I forget that I banished 2 Nervals, or 1 of the Nervals from Desires. We use Omen here as Chainlink 1, Kit Chainlink 3, Imperms the Omen so we can't get the banish. But we add the Kuraz anyway. So we Galateas, I believe, for Crescendo. Yep. Dingirsu has to send away Omen. I try to use Omen effect. I completely forgot that I banished 1 of the kits. So I take 20. This was 800 because of this effect. I might have been through. It might have been less because I think he said Symbol Skeleton, but it's fine. It doesn't come up. So yeah, then he has to link away the 2 so he can go into another Galatea to keep Crescendo alive. So on my turn, I just decided to use the Kuraz that he already knows. I didn't want to normal summon the card he didn't know. I used to use the Kuraz, which he already knew, discarding Cat. Cat wasn't live at this point because I think all my kits are gone, or all my Kurazes are gone, one of the 2. So yep, I use Kuraz effect to banish 4. He crescendos it, banishes it, and then we still have the 1 Revolt. He said this must be a joke, but I had double revolt. Like I said, the power of drawing revolt is so much different than actually searching revolt. So now we can just add Fractal. We didn't use a normal summon yet. Normal summon the Fractal. Banish 3. Summon the bird. Just link them away for access code. I'm not doing extra steps. And then we can just attack for game for 83. So yeah, I think that's the very most powerful part of Tri-Brigade is the fact that when you draw this card, it does so much more than when you search it. Because they just don't expect it, and they just have to hope, and they pretty much have to play into it. They can't just stop you from searching somewhere. So it's very, like, draw doesn't affect it. It's a huge deal. But yeah, I thought that this Orcust deck was kind of different. I like that, the fact that it played a bunch of trap cards between strikes and Divine Wrath and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of cool and worth mentioning. But I hope you guys enjoyed this match, and I'll be posting more and more of these matches as we go along, as I continue to climb back up in Dueling Book. Until the end of the season, and then I'll restart it for next season. But I will see you guys next video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you stuck along this long, if you stuck around this long, I'll talk to you guys later and see you next video. Bye.